For 20-somethings. We are making this up as we go along.
Good evening and welcome to 20-somethings, a show for 20-somethings by 20-somethings. Today we're going to be talking about AI Fruit Love Island that has been taking the internet by storm, the mess that is TSA, and of course, Miss Rachel's mission to save children from detention centers. I'm your host, Emmy Norgren, and this week I'm joined by my co-hosts. Please say hello to Aaliyah, Alyssa, and Gabby. How is everyone doing today?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. So let's get into our first topic, Fruit Love Island. A few weeks ago, the AI-generated drama Fruit Love Island started taking over the internet. Since then, there have been many different variations of the show. Let's have a look.
Some may call it AI slop, but based on the comments, viewers seem to be really engaged. It's unclear whether ITV, the company behind the original Love Island, has granted permission for its intellectual property.
So, have you guys seen any of these little TikToks going on?
Oh my god. I saw like half of a video and it was crazy. I saw enough. I think it was
I may have fallen into that trap. I was scrolling and I saw one and then I was like, okay, this is kind of funny, and then I ended up watching 8 and I know my cousin who's a junior, she's also been sending them to her friends.
Really?
I obviously I'm not a giant fan of the whole AI stuff, especially with our field, but it is kind of funny.
Yeah. It's definitely AI slop, but I think it's somewhat entertaining, a little comedic. I mean, I will give them credit for the character design.
Yeah.
They're kind of cute a little bit, but other than that, I don't really.
Yeah, in theory, it's funny, because, it's based off of Love Island, the show, because the whole reason, this started, allegedly, is because, people are waiting for the new season, and because, it's been taking forever. Fruit Love Island is kind of, taking its place, and, again, it is AI slop, and not to be the woke, blue-haired liberal that I am, but... Yeah, it is also really bad, especially for the environment and the overconsumption of AI. And AI is also just being normalized day by day. Yeah. And again, because we are all within the film industry, it's also kind of
taking our jobs.
Yeah, it's also taking opportunities away from people in our field and animators especially. And also Disney pulled its partnership with OpenAI too, with the app that's helped create Fruit Love Island being shut down. Too.
I know the creator who started the whole thing is also facing a lot of backlash because they've been getting a lot of hate due to the amount of stuff that AI is destroying, with polar bears and all that stuff. I know they provide a lot of clean water. And so I think they also have been starting to delete the videos and stuff.
I heard that they didn't even really get granted the rights to make that stuff, which is why a lot of it's getting removed. A lot of it's based on real Love Island episodes.
Yeah, it's definitely some copyright legal issues.
And I've also heard I don't know if it was Strawberryna or whatever, but some of them were based off of Hoda.
Yeah, I have a baby.
Yeah,
I'm a mother.
They copied their exact
mommy. Yeah,
dialogue,
the story,
their language. It's crazy. I mean, I totally agree. It's AI slop.
One of the things I saw was regarding the backlash that the person was getting. It was a screenshot of something they had posted on their story or something, just kind of calling out the people that were shitting on calling out the people. It was a screenshot on their story of them calling out the people that were kind of trolling on them and stuff, and apparently they quoted that each episode takes hours to make, which is kind
for
of
a 15-second video.
I mean,
for an AI video too.
Yeah, I will admit, I've had to use AI for an assignment. It was part of the syllabus. We had to make an AI generated video, and
because some courses require the use of AI,
which is crazy. Another hot topic, but not for today. It's just the algorithm of AI is kind of hard sometimes, but to say that it took hours while there are people that are making like, full feature films that take years to film, it's like kind of read the room, girl,
it's crazy,
boy, whoever.
I think like
they them.
Read the room, they them.
I definitely think like AI is kind of destructive for our industry. Definitely. But I do think like if we were approaching it in a way that was helping writers instead of taking jobs, there definitely could be a way. But also I think a way that is more sustainable is a better option.
Totally. I feel like I talk about it a lot in classes and stuff about ways to use AI in a helpful way.
Yeah. To create more jobs than
than to take them away. I just think with this specific like AI Fruit Love Island, it's not, I don't think it's beneficial in any way.
Yeah.
I understand it's entertaining, but there's a lot of entertainment out there that's short form,
made by real people,
entertaining, but it's not created by an AI generated source.
Yeah. And with that being said, let's move on to our next topic for today. As of March 2026, following the staffing shortages, ICE agents are being deployed to the U.S. airports to assist TSA agents with crowd control, security checkpoint management, and monitoring exits. So let's take a look.
Over the weekend at some airports, a third of agents called out, causing massive delays and chaos. Joining us this morning to discuss is our Washington insider, Armstrong Williams. And Armstrong, this is all happening as an Air Canada plane collided with a fire truck on the runway at LaGuardia overnight. We still have some details coming in, but we know there's at least 2 deaths from this. And from preliminary reports, it does sound like a big problem with air traffic control. What are you hearing about this particular accident?
Well, this has nothing to do with TSA,
Correct.
Homeland Security, and the shutdown. This is just a air traffic controller's judgment. I mean, obviously, he thought he had enough space for that fire truck to cross. We have been on the tarmac. We've seen this, and it just didn't work out this time. It wouldn't matter what was going on in the world. If you have that kind of judgment and that calculation, that can happen.
Right. Plus, there was a big storm last night also in New York. Yeah. It's important to note what you just said is important because air traffic controllers are not funded the same way as TSA. They're funded by the Department of Transportation, so they are not affected the same way as TSA. Are Democrats any closer to reaching a deal? What's happening behind the scenes right now on Capitol Hill when it comes to funding?
I think the question that we should ask is whether Republicans and Democrats are any closer to reaching a deal. I think we lose something when we think this is only about Democrats. This is about Congress and how they continue to fail the American people.
So, I don't know about you guys. I personally don't really love the idea of ICE being, at the airports. I think it's gonna just only worsen the issue, and like especially with like the amount of like time that it's taking for people to get through TSA. I mean, Keith knows.
Shout out Keith.
Shout out Keith. But yeah, like I really don't think it's gonna help. I think it's just gonna make things worse.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I was traveling not this past weekend, but the previous, and I was on an Air Canada flight, and like 2 days after I landed, this whole thing came out, and it was crazy. And then a couple days later, I flew from Canada to Philly, and then from Philly to Rhode Island. And while I was at the airport in Philly, it was crowded, yeah, but at least in that airport, they were pretty on top of it. And the line was long, but I got through it in maybe half an hour. But I know there's other airports where people were waiting like 3.
Yeah, like the JFK airport.
Yeah.
I mean, I went into a little airport when I was going to South Carolina, but it was from Connecticut, and it was tiny, but even there, like some of the TSA agents were having 2 lines. They were taking on 2 lines at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's so frustrating because like there are people who are working so hard because like, people need to get on their flights, but it puts so much pressure on the few that are at work just because the rest of them have this unfair payment situation. It's just really unfair.
And it's so frustrating because the answer for that problem is so like right in front of our faces. It's just that the people who make those decisions are just choosing not to do that, and instead they're going to put ICE agents into an already hostile and stressful like situation, and I don't think it's going to be helpful with them having weapons, especially since like all that's been happening in the past few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention these ICE agents, they're not trained to operate security checkpoints whatsoever. And there are people, especially like in TSA, who are equipped to like handle stuff that the ICE agents are implemented to basically do. And as of recently, like while these ICE agents are getting paid for their limitations within their duties, especially not being qualified to handle TSA checkpoints.
I mean, I believe they're just there to like do crowd control. I don't think they're like in charge of like checking the baggage or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen so many videos of them
Yeah.
that they're not doing anything. That
Yeah,
just
and
kind
they're
of
getting
taking up
paid while
space.
TSA's not getting paid.
Right.
And more than 400 unpaid TSA workers have quit since the government shut down.
I've also heard like some people say that they're worried that like because it's going to prevent people from traveling because the fear of being detained. And also I also like saw a video about a guy saying like they're going to eventually make it so we can't travel, even like citizens, but I don't know if that's just some random person on the internet, but
Definitely not going
It's
down a good
terrifying.
path.
yeah.
No, definitely not. It's really scary.
Yeah, it's
And
creating
suspicious.
it's
Very
creating like a
suspicious.
terrifying like environment, especially like since aircraft is like the easiest like way of traveling from like one place to another depending on where you are.
Yeah.
And more so like it's not like the cheapest, but like compared to like taking the train.
So like how would you guys feel if you were like in the TSA like agents like positions? Like would you want to work that job or like
I have enough anxiety.
Right.
I'm not doing that. And
Yeah.
I feel so bad for people, like, what if that's their only source of income too, you know? It's
Yeah, and
like,
if I'm seeing
just
people who
sad.
aren't qualified
like,
to do their
yeah.
job and they're getting paid and I'm not,
yeah,
I deal
especially
with that
'cause
enough
you're-
with my
you
job
wouldn't be getting
now.
paid.
It's like,
it's like why am I here?
horrible.
Why am I here?
It's
Yeah, no.
horrible.
I would do the same thing. I'd probably quit
Yeah.
because
I feel like it's
it's like a waste of time and I'm not making money.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think there might be like a worker strike with TSA?
it's gonna turn from
don't
crowd
know.
control to some other type of
like that might
control.
be
Maybe that will be the
It's
way to
just
like
so-
pressure, or are they just gonna like just because Trump did say he was gonna deploy like National Guard if the ICE agents
Right,
weren't
I
helping
saw
enough, which
that.
I don't think is gonna make it any
Yeah,
better.
I don't think it's
can't-
necessary.
Also,
Yeah.
like, is that the best use of?
No, especially because we're in a war.
It's insane.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. It definitely makes me like nervous to travel. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Especially since how they're going about like detaining citizens. Like,
Yeah.
It's not lawful whatsoever.
Yeah, not at all scary. So let's move to our final topic. Miss Rachel freeing children from detention centers. So Miss Rachel is known for being a YouTube educator, songwriter, and content creator, and is now taking a new challenge on. Miss Rachel's new mission is to free children from ICE detention centers. So let's take a look at that.
Yes, Rachel Accurso, as you say, known as Miss Rachel, told NBC News that she's fighting to close the Dilley Immigration Processing Center in South Texas, where ICE has been detaining children and their parents. Accurso has been video calling with some children and their parents at that detention center, saying it broke her to see the young children's faces in the facility. Accurso says she's now working with lawyers and immigration activists to close the Dilley Center, as she put it, and to make sure that their kids and their parents are back in the community, she says, where they belong. Her decision to speak out on political issues has generated backlash. She was accused of anti-Semitism in January after her Instagram account liked a comment that read, "Free America from the Jews." She said that was an accident, but she also told NBC that she is political if it is political to believe that children are worthy of love and care. So yes, she's getting involved in politics.
So I think what she's doing is like amazing, and I think like she's an example of someone that's become famous that's using her platform for good. I know like with the whole Palestine thing, she was so adamant about it. She wore a whole dress dedicated to the kids there in Gaza, and so I think this is just her doing more just support and like awareness.
Yeah.
Everything that I see about her for like the past like 2 years, I think, just made me like so sad, like for her, in the sense that like she started out as like just a typical like content creator who just made stuff for kids, and now she like obviously she's doing amazing work and great things for humanity. It's just I don't think she expected to be like fall into that position. It's just like I don't know. I see videos of her like crying about like the children and stuff, and it just makes me so sad.
I think it's because she is a mother herself, so when she's seeing these children go through so much like horrific stuff, she's envisioning her own child go through that, and I think that's why she has such a powerful voice when it comes to speaking up about this kind of stuff, because she truly like feels it. It's
inspiring.
Yeah,
it's really inspiring.
I think something that's really admirable about her is the fact that she is a children's content creator, and that's something that she's always done. But more than that, she sets an example for the children that she creates content for, and she shows them that it's okay and good to stand up for what you believe in, and some people are going to agree with you and some people aren't, but at the end of the day it's important that you speak about what matters to you. And I think that that's a really beautiful thing to be teaching our youth. I think it's really admirable.
Adding to what you said earlier, Emmy, is like how she's using her platform to raise awareness around this. And because a lot of people would typically say like, oh, I'm not into politics, or why does everything have to be political nowadays? But especially given the political climate we're in right now, I mean, especially with, we were just talking about ICE agents, there is no reason, and you can't give a good explanation, especially for the topic of politics, for why Miss Rachel shouldn't be political. There's no reason you should be detaining a child. There's no good reason for doing that whatsoever. And she's been using her platform to raise money. She raised $100,000 to help these kids in detention centers. And she's currently working with lawyers and immigration activists as well
to try to get them
out. To raise awareness, help these kids. So I think she's having a really good influence.
I think one thing that's like interesting about like, oh, like not everything has to be political. That's one thing about a social media influencer, is that their platform is social media. Like there's no, of course there's no time or anything, but like for just say not everything needs to be political, that's not the place for it. Social media
is definitely the place for it.
That's where it has to go. When she has such a widespread platform.
I also think like, I personally, this might be just me, I feel like there's a difference when it comes to politics and human rights issues and violations. And I feel like politics is like Democrats versus like Republicans, but I feel like it's when it's hits so close to home, like I think at least everyone knows someone or knows someone who knows someone that's been affected by like ICE. And like I just think like at this point it's not even just like a political thing. I think it's like you literally cannot ignore it because it's like in your backyard.
It's such a disappointing thing that the political climate that we're in right now, human rights issues feel political.
Yeah, and they really shouldn't be political, because at the end of the day, like everyone deserves to have basic human rights, and the fact that it has to be a political discussion on whether a certain like demographic or group of people deserves human rights is just absurd.
Unfortunately, we are out of time today. Thank you for joining us.